All right, it's time for the next step of the project, and that's to put the birdcage back in. Once I can get all the panels lined up and I start gluing, I'll go ahead and cut, refiberglass the floor, and fix the floor to the rocker channels here. And then that will actually have the birdcage reaffixed to the body of the car to where I can lift it up and I can start working independently on all the little brackets and stuff on the bottom. From what I've been able to tell from taking the car apart and then reading the AIM, when the birdcage is attached to the car, the rockers are attached first. I don't have these attached yet. These are just in here. These rivets are in here as placeholders because some of the things that I have to do is I have to see where holes don't line up since these rockers came off of a different body. And I also have to go through the AIM, and as you can see, I've got these little red tick marks, and that's where all the new rivets are going to end up going. And it goes along the top, and then there's 3 along the bottom here, and then I have a couple in the center. So the ones in the center, there's a plate that goes on the opposite side. If you can see, I have not done the repairs yet on the body because I'm still kind of fitting things. I have the template that goes there, and I think that's the only one before I can actually start reattaching things. I still have the mount on the very top here. It goes in between there. It's a bonding strip before I can get that attached as well. So the order of operations are going to be to get these rockers reattached. I'm going to clean them up first because you can see I have not done the cleanup from the fiberglass work yet. Rockers attached, and then I'm going to get the back end attached here, and then the rivets that go, the 2 rivets in the back, those will be attached, and I'll have the birdcage attached here. And then finally I'm going to be rebonding to that little center strip there, and I'll have the top settle down, or actually fixed to the birdcage from there as well. The lock pillars will go in next, and then the halo, the trim around the halo, that'll go in after those, and then I will end up doing the floor last. And the reason I'm doing the floor last is if you look at this gap here, I can actually stretch it and I can close it up. Now I want to have everything on here before I begin to attach the floor. I'll walk around, and one of the big things I still have to do with the floor is where these cracks were from the original wreck. You can see how much they tried to repair it by cutting fiberglass out. So I'm going to have to cut that, pull it out, and I want to make sure everything's aligning before I go gluing the car back together. And also, whenever you go to put the rivets back in, as you can see, I have to re-drill my holes because they're not in the same spot. Now, if you do not put the spacers back in, then what's going to happen is the birdcage will end up being too low. So that's going to throw off all your measurements, and then whenever you go to actually fix everything, it's going to be off. So one of the other things I've had to do is, you can see I have this floor jack under here. It's because I can loosen this up and show you that the floor, you see that gap that just formed right there? The floor is under tension with the rest of the car. Oh, it does not want to raise back up. There it goes. There we go. You can see how it moved back up. So the floor is under tension when attached to the birdcage. So you really have to look out for those little spots. One thing I don't want to leave out is when you do this, if you do this, is to make sure that you get all your body mounts in. I don't have this one tight, obviously, because you want to shift it around and you want to have this as neutral as possible. Mainly because The car is going to flex, and you want it to flex from a, oh, sideways again. You want it to flex from a central position because you have shims that go up underneath depending on how the body is sitting whenever you remount it to the frame. So making sure that you have the Birdcage as close to final install as possible is pretty crucial whenever you go to reattach this to your body, or it's gonna want to bend and flex, and you might end up creating cracks with road stress and just other stresses that happen with the car. Since all of this is in place, the first thing I'm going to do is start drilling my holes. Immediately found out that I have to repair a couple holes. That one, like all these along the bottom, got to be repaired. I got to fix this one up top here. And it looks like that one probably should be repaired as well. It's pretty dang close. So I've got a little fiberglass work ahead of me before I can start to put this back in. Time to let the fiberglass repairs set up, and then I'm moving on over to the Birdcage here for the rocker panels. All right, the fiberglass is dried, and I got the rockers on the Birdcage. And while I was doing this, I started actually kind of rethinking my process. And pardon the dust here. All that fiberglass dust, super itchy. So there are these mounting points on the bottom, 1, 2, and 3, and then the center tunnel goes down here. Now the problem that I'm seeing is that when I put this in, I have no way of getting to the back of these rivets to replace those, and they are down on the bottom there, and there's just really no way for me to do it because there's a crossbar that goes, the cross member goes all the way across. So in order for me to actually get down there and put those structural rivets in, I have to pull the body back off. So what I think I'm going to end up doing is the fiberglass repairs, I'm going to go ahead and clean those up. I'm going to go ahead and come in here and cut these cracks And then what I'll do is I'm going to put holes every, I don't know, maybe 6 inches or so. And I'm just going to do pop rivets on each side to hold it in place. And that should allow me to pull this off and get to the rivets behind. It should be structurally sound enough for me to actually start doing repairs. This will actually allow me to get under the car and rebuild that floor, as well as have the holes, and if I line it up right, I can go ahead and do the bonding as well. So that's going to be the next step. So just to kind of recap, go back over that, I'm going to be cleaning this up and cutting the old cracks out, and then trying to start refitting the birdcage. The body is separated once again from this guy here. I remember whenever I got all that work done once upon a time. I took this off and I actually found that I have to change a couple things with it. Nothing serious. But let's go over what I got to do for this floor. Alright, most of these rivets are in now. Something that I had to do, I don't know how people put the rivets from the back into the front. That's how they were from the factory. My tools won't let me do it because the back end here, it's like it comes down and it's like at an angle like that, so I can't get the rivet gun in there. So what I did instead was I flipped them, and then I put washers on the back so that they wouldn't pull through the fiberglass. So that's how those are sitting in there. They're not just flared out on the back of the fiberglass there. I moved on to putting a temporary hold in here. I put tapping screws here and here, and the only reason I put a rivet there is because there's a rivet there to begin with, because that's the brace for the front seat. So I just left the rivet in there. I didn't want to put a nut and bolt. That seemed like more of a pain in the ass if it came loose. And then I did the same thing on the other side. If I walk around to the other side, I noticed a couple things that I'm going to have to do to this. The back, for example, you can see how big the gap is here. The gap is like not super tight over there, but this is a pretty big gap, and these holes, they don't really line up with the rocker panel here. And I'm not too concerned. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go back in here. I'm going to fill these holes, and then I'm going to fiberglass it back together. And then here, I went ahead and pulled this out. You can see the gap this is making now. Kind of hard to see. So what I'll end up doing is I'm going to end up putting the firewall on. I'm going to pull off the old bonding agent here. And with the firewall on, what I'll be able to do is fiberglass that front end and get my shape, and then I'll fiberglass back in here and fix the floor pan. For now, I'm pretty sure that this birdcage will lift with the body. I got the bonding strip in there, you can see it, and then I put my little air shim to make up the difference since I don't have anything bonded. So what I'm going to go ahead and move on to is attempting to lift this up, and I'm going to put it on sawhorses so I can get up underneath, and then from underneath I'm going to go ahead and start putting the other rivets together and looking for other fiberglass repairs that I need to do before I get the firewall on. And once the rivets are in place, I'll start working on a solution to get the firewall in. Alright, this firewall is not set on here. What I think I might do is go grab the other firewall. A couple reasons. One, all of the holes in the top should already be lined up. The second is that firewall comes off of an AC car, and this VIN is an AC VIN. Plus it's going to make things a little bit easier to get around this guy right here. Still not sure what I'm going to do to the other side. The fitment here, you can see why I had to separate everything, because before everything was way over there to the left. You can see like how much of a gap I have with my fingers, so I got to fill all that up. I'm going to start from the center of the tunnel here once I get the firewall figured out, and then I'll work along this way and I'll figure out my spacing for my panels, and then I'll kind of work my way back, fixing things as I go. And some of the things I do got to fix is this whole bond right here. I'm going to have to replace and fix that. The other side, I might do the same thing. I'm not quite sure. You can't see it with all the stuff in the way. When I started taking this apart, the birdcage wanted to separate from here, and it actually wanted to pull forward. So I banded this together. So if you do that, watch out for that the bonding actually held the entire thing together. So whenever I was lifting it up and down, it wouldn't move around on top. So you're going to have to bind that like I did before you really make any big movements with it. Going back under the car here, notice the seatbelt mounts. I'm going to have to replace and or repair them. There's a brace here for the compartment. It's all rusted out. A bunch of, looks like the differential may have blew up at some point in time, so I'm going to clean that up. Coming over here, I started looking around and I noticed there was a fracture here, and then I started looking up under, and then there's a fracture there, and then everywhere the seat belts hit, there's fractures. For some reason, this side isn't as bad as the other side, and this is the side that was actually hit. So if I go over, when I say it's not as bad, but it's pretty fucking awful. Go over here to this side and we go up under the car. You see I've got these fractures come along here and all along where the seatbelt mounts were, pretty much surrounded. So whoever was in this really took a hit. I think maybe the seatbelt on that side. All of the fiberglass is okay because a passenger was not in the car whenever this was hit. So it looks like the seatbelt saved the previous owner's life, to be honest, because it didn't pull through. So that's excellent. I hope they're, however old they are, they're probably feeling it. But yeah, I got all these little cracks and stuff I got to fix while I have this up.
This mount actually looks pretty darn good. I might just clean it up and give it a shot of paint, and then move on. I got these little brackets under here that are all trashed out. I'm probably just going to take them out. I don't think I really need them for the Restomod. And then just a bunch of little stuff like that. And that's going to be most of the floor fix before I put it back on the car. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and move on to the firewall, and work my way back through to the tail of the car. That's all I can really do. I probably won't take video of me cleaning some stuff up because you guys are looking for whatever. I don't know what you're looking at my channel for, to be honest. But yeah, let's get moving on that part of the project.